Three, two, one. Okay, welcome once again to HeroQuest fans. If you're viewing this on Twitch, who are live, if you're viewing this on YouTube, this is pre-recorded. Welcome, everyone. So I'm doing a homebrew scenario right here using HeroQuest, classic HeroQuest, not the remake. This board is a reprinted board. I mean, I own the original set, but this is with 1-inch squares. So this is a little larger and it's got a matte finish. It shows up a little bit easier on camera. So I'm using that, and also I am going to be using. Sorry, there's just a little imperfection on the board there. I'm going to be using a few other things here. So we're playing solo basically. I'm controlling four heroes, and I have a new automated process using what I call shadow tokens, which control the monsters. And the only thing that's going to be missing is there's going to be no searching for secret doors, and the map's already going to be revealed. And I'm using the Zargon deck. So these are Evil Wizard cards. So when it comes time for his turn, we draw a card and we move the shadow tokens that are revealed. So first things first, we're going to set aside the Gargoyle card. And this is the monster deck. We're going to shuffle those up. And this will determine who the wandering monster is for this quest. So these rules were created by me, just adapted from Space Crusade, which I've played a lot of. Okay, so the wandering monster in this quest, we'll just set it aside. So we don't know it yet. And once we get a wandering monster, that's when we will discover what it is. So I'm going to put away the other cards. I'm just going to put that card to the side. I promise I'm not cheating here. Okay, so who do we have playing? Well, we're going to have the four heroes. Oh yeah, got to read the parchment text. This is just a sample, so you can create your own. So for the skeleton of this quest, we're using a quest called The Maze, which was created by Milton Bradley, Hasbro, so designed by Stephen Baker, in cooperation with Games Workshop back in '89 for the original version of HeroQuest. It's called The Maze. And originally the point of the maze was each of the heroes would start in one of the four quadrants, one of the four corners of the board, and they would race to see who could get to the center staircase. And whoever got there first got 100 gold. And the only enemies were orcs. There were no traps or secret doors. Well, no, there were some secret doors, I think. But yeah, it was a really simple, really easy quest. And it really didn't stress cooperation, so it was replaced by the trial in the second edition and then in the North American edition. But I'm just going to go ahead and set up the board here, show you, and I'll talk about the heroes as well. So thanks for joining us here on HeroQuest fans. Now, the one that I'm looking at here, this is actually a remake of um, the maze from HeroQuest by Phoenix.yieldin.com, so Phoenix's page. So the spiral staircase is actually there. Let me just adjust the cameras here. Just give you kind of the overall view. So unlike when you normally play HeroQuest, I mean, normally when you play HeroQuest, you reveal the board little by little. Zargon reveals it as you see stuff. So you move into the room, you see something. In this scenario, we're just putting stuff out, and I'll show you how it's actually going to go down. So setting up the board. We need some board setup music. Need Paul Schaefer to play me some tunes. Okay, so we got the stone block there. And you could really use any quest, but I just thought this is a quest that is pretty good for doing generic stuff. Another one there. Another stone block here. So if you own any version of HeroQuest, you should be able to do exactly what I'm doing, but you will need to make yourself some tokens, some extra tokens. I think I did like 50 of them, something like that. I'm not using every single one that I created, but quite a few. I just grabbed the images online. It's a double stone block way down at the bottom. And I used a glue stick and some chipboard. I actually bought a sheet of chipboard. I mean, you could use, some people use cereal boxes. You can use the backs of like notebooks. You know, if you buy some sheet protectors, usually they'll come with like cardboard backing. Instead of throwing that out, you just use that. You can use them from mailers. There's just all kinds of things. I used to throw cardboard out, try to recycle it, but now I'll see if I can use it for some HeroQuest project. And glue sticks are so easy to use, like those little school ones that they're purple, and when you rub it on there, it dries clear. It works pretty well. I mean, you got to lay it on thick and you got to work quickly, but it's not as messy as some other glues, and it does the job you need. Okay, so I think that's all of the stone blocks I actually need. You got the two cameras here, so we got some blocks there. And you can only pass through those if you have pass through rock, of course. The spell, limited use spell. And I've got to put out all the doors. So once again, it's different than how you would normally play, because normally you got to see the stuff to put it out. And I disassembled all my doors, see, when I put this away, because I knew I wasn't going to play HeroQuest for a little while, so I put everything away. Actually, this is going to pose a slight problem, not much of a problem, because normally there's only 5 closed doors. So I guess I'm going to have to break my own rule because I didn't print out extra closed doors. So we're going to have some that are open already. But we'll just pretend. So I guess that is the first play testing thing that we should mention. Because normally there's only 5 closed doors. I mean, I guess there's 2 extra with each of the expansions. And yes, there was an announcement late last night that I should be talking about in its own separate video. You know what? I'll talk about it a little bit here. I just didn't want to. I want to devote an entire video to it, just because there's going to be some strong emotions and things to say about it. But you remember the not so subtle teases that they had about the Frozen Horror, the Barbarian Quest pack, being remade and released by Hasbro sometime this year. Well, it's related to that. And several people have already posted. I guess the first thing was in Reddit, and it was because some people noticed some Scandinavian websites were talking about it, like putting up pictures and like pre-order information, and started thinking, oh boy, here we go again. So my main hope is that it's going to be a retail release, just like the remake of the game system, Keller's Keep and Return of the Witchlord, and not a limited edition exclusive like the Mythic tier stuff with the pledge drive, not like the bonus heroes and the pledge drive, not like the Commander of the Guardian Knights, which a lot of people are still smarting about. I mean, I pre-ordered mine on the day it sold out, and I still haven't gotten mine. Like, I still have no idea if I'm even going to get it. And I know it's not that big a deal, but it's like you create a product and, it's HeroQuest, so you think, okay, it's going to be for everybody, and apparently it's only for a couple people, and people are scalping it, and so most people who want it aren't going to be able to get it. It's like that just leaves a bad taste in your mouth as a customer. Makes you kind of mad. So, but I don't want to dwell on that negativity in this. I want to have fun, and I want you to have fun watching me here. So I'll save that discussion of the Frozen Horror remake, details about it, which for all we know, there'll be more details. I mean, today is April 1st. It's April Fool's Day, so you can't trust anything you read on the internet today, right? But I am going to comment on it. I have made my thoughts known on Ye Olde Inn already. So if you really want to know what I have to think, go there. I mean, some people agree with me. Some people think I'm full of it. But see what you think. But yeah, I'll talk about it there. And probably just do its own video. Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to use, so I'm just making the doors, are these hero combat cards. So I'm just going to draw some random, basically 2 for the barbarian, 2 for the dwarf. So they don't have magic spells, but they have some little combat things they can make. So again, this is another thing you can find on Ye Olde Inn and actually on Phoenix's page. Okay, so just looking at the map again, we're going to set up the doors. So we got one northern half of the board up there. We've got one this corner here. And yeah, if I got it wrong, it's like, who cares? It's a custom map anyway, but I'm just going to put that there. There. So in a way, it's kind of like Space Crusade because in Space Crusade you put all the doors down. It doesn't matter if somebody looks at the GM map; they're not going to see any secrets because other than the orientation of the boards, which you can already see just by glancing, you don't know where the monsters are because the monsters are these shadowy blips that are just moving around, which you only get to see when you enter that quadrant of the board. And then they move around and you don't actually know what each one is until it flips over. See? So it's different every time. I mean, in a way, it makes the game a little more generic, but you always know that there's going to be some threat coming towards you. And the GM really has control over how many blips come at you, so they could make it totally unfair. They could just throw everything at you at the start and almost guarantee to kill you. Or they could do what a lot of people do, which is kind of split it up, 4 ways, more or less. It's not going to be 100% even, and then that way, there's always some excitement, but it's not going to be overwhelming. Of course, for all you know, there could be a bunch of strong enemies all at once. So I think that's just about it. Let me just make sure I've got enough. So I got one there, 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 there. Now, technically, there are secret doors being used. But in this case, the secret doors are not really secret. They're just tiles that you can walk through. So just think of it as, okay, it's just like another door, but instead of looking like a big plastic doorway, it looks like a secret door tile. So all HeroQuest fans know what I'm talking about. That's a secret door. Okay. You walk up to it, you say open the door, and you just walk through. That's it. I mean, it doesn't change, it doesn't go away. The way I used to play in the old days, which is apparently wrong, you're actually going to run out of doors if you do this, is I thought it was like you move up to the door, you say open the door, and then Zargon's supposed to take it away and put an open door like that, which is cooler because now you know it's open, but you're going to run out of doors that way. Before I knew that, I actually made more of these. So some of these are like homemade doors. There's a homemade door. See how it's not quite perfect, but it is thicker. So yeah, I made extra doors just so I would have enough to do it that way, but it's really not necessary. So if you're a big HeroQuest fan, shall we say, you do things like that, as by the book as you can. It's like I want to know that I'm getting the game exactly right, how the designers intended. Then I'll make my changes. Then I'll sprinkle my homebrew rules on top of it because I want to know what I'm changing. Because some of the stuff that they came up with, I see no reason to change it. I mean, yeah, if I'm playing at someone else's game table and they have a house rule that they really like, that's how they play, fair enough. It's their game. I'll play their way. Like one guy I know, the way he would play is he would say like when you do a ranged attack at an enemy, if they have a low mind point, they can't dodge it because it's like, oh well, it takes extra like skills and wits to dodge stuff, and so he would just say those monsters can't dodge. So you throw a dagger at a goblin, it's gonna just hit him. I mean, assuming you rolled a skull. But that was his rule. With me, I'm just like, no, they still defend just like anything else. And I'm playing it the default way. He's playing it with a homebrew rule that he thinks is more realistic or more interesting, or gives the heroes more of an incentive, I guess, to throw their weapons at certain monsters. Okay. Now, traps really won't come up very often, is the thing. There are some traps that come up with the Zargon deck. So yeah, you're going to miss out on traps and secret doors. So the dwarf won't quite have as much to do as he normally does. So that is one weakness of this system. But we'll see how it fares otherwise. Other than that, I am using Zargon dice, which these are the same as the HeroQuest combat dice, except they're just a different color, just to make it easier to determine, when the bad guys are rolling versus the good guys. There's those standard white combat dice. These are bigger plastic versions, and then the movement dice. That's just my dice rolling board there. So I'm going to clear my workspace here a little bit. And here is character sheets. It's just a 4-way. So I've got Conan the Barbarian, of course. And I've decided to, similar to Space Crusade, how you've got the heavy weapons to start out with. So he's going to have a broadsword, but I'll also give him a longsword. Well, why does he have two? Well, because the broadsword's his default weapon. Well, a longsword is 3 attack, but it also does diagonal. He's got his standard 2 defend, 8 body, 2 mind. Okay, Barbarian. He's moving first. Next is Tommy, the wizard. And he gets 1 attack, 2 defend, 4 body, and 6 mind standard. And instead of only a dagger, I also gave him a staff, so he can attack diagonally with 1. Got Buddy the Elf, classic. He's got a short sword, but also a crossbow. So he has 2 attack, adjacent, and then 3 at range. And I'm decided to interpret it as the crossbow cannot hit the 4 diagonals that are closest to the square the hero is on. It has to be at least 1 square away, just like if they were firing adjacently, like in the 4 cardinal directions. So they can fire in 8 directions. It's got to be at least 1 square away. That's how I'm interpreting it. Okay. And the elf also has the earth spells. So heal body, rock skin, and pass through rock. And the wizard has the other 3, water, fire, air. That's usually how we play. And then last but not least is Red, the dwarf. He's got 2 attack, 2 defend, 7 body, 3 mind. Actually, I should say 4 or 2, because I gave him a battle axe. Okay, and you'll notice nobody starts with any armor, so everybody's got just the 2. No potions or anything extra like that. But now this treasure deck is expanded, so there is more to it. Okay, so now we're going to draw the hero cards. So this is for the barbarian. He's going to get 2. Okay, so he got charisma. Yeah, that only applies to henchmen. Heroic sacrifice. Okay, so we're going to redraw one of these because there's no henchmen in this scenario. Heroic sacrifice and berserker fury. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Okay, and then for the dwarf, we've got slip and luck. Okay, so I'll just add those. So those are similar to spells, except they're for the pure combat characters. And they can be used anytime on their turn or if the card says otherwise. So heroic sacrifice, let's see, take the blow intended for another member in your party. You must be adjacent to the left or right of the comrade to perform this feat. Berserker Fury, launch into a Berserker Fury. You hurl yourself into the fray. From now until the end of the turn, you may trade any number of defense dice to roll any equal number of attack dice. These dice may be distributed amongst any creatures adjacent to you as you see fit. So it sounds like, let's see, in the barbarian's case, he's got 2 defense dice. It says trade. So does that mean he would attack with 2 instead of 3? That doesn't really make much sense. But he could add his defense to his attack. That's how I'm going to interpret it. So he would basically roll 5 in attack. And they can be distributed amongst any creatures adjacent to you as you see fit. So if you have 3 monsters ahead of you, you roll 5 skulls. You could say 2 skulls to one guy, 2 skulls to another, and 1 to another, like that. That's how I'm going to read it. Now for the dwarf, we've got slip. Path is blocked by any one or more opponents. You may successfully slip through them unharmed as long as there's at least 1 square behind them. So, and I'm going to treat these as just single use. So it's like Veil of Mist. You can just pass through enemies. And then with luck, fortune smiles on you. You can use this card to automatically cancel the effect of 1 combat card played by the evil wizard player. Since I'm not using combat cards for the evil wizard player, I'm going to say he can counter one of these cards. Okay, so one of these gets played, he can immediately play this and cancel it. That's how that works. Okay, so got the heroes, and we're finally starting after all of that preparation and prelude, and it's necessary to explain how the game works and why I'm playing it so weird if you sign in late here. And sorry for getting the stream started late, but it's what happens sometimes, a lot of the time. So we got the 4 heroes. So now I have to decide where we're starting. So just based on where the cameras are, I think what the easiest would be to just start everybody here. So we're going to take another door. Let's see. Okay, so this will be the one concession I'll make to Return of the Witch Lord and Keller's Keep. I'll use one of these special doors. So the old iron door. So just put that there, and we'll just put the iron door right here. And this is where all the heroes will start. And so this was, originally this would have been the barbarians' starting point in the maze. So we'll put all the heroes behind there. So there's where they start. And let's read off the sample parchment text that I came up with. Cheers, Dead Gamer. I got my lozenge here, and I've also got my tea, so I should be good to go. Thankfully, it's not as dry today. Okay. Mentor speaks. My friends, I've discovered a new threat with the help of Lore Tome. A series of enemy strongholds filled with fierce monsters concealed in the darkness, plotting the overthrow of the Empire. The Emperor has promised to pay bounties in gold for the destruction of these monsters, but their exact size and strength is unknown. You will journey to the stronghold and enter through one of the 4 possible entrances. The only way out of the maze will be through the central spiral staircase. Each quadrant of the maze will reveal new shadows that could be monsters or harmless pieces of furniture. Should you succeed in clearing out the entire maze of these forces of chaos, the survivors who reach the stairway will be given an even greater reward. Tread carefully, my heroes. All right, so it begins. We'll set all that aside. Get the ye old dice rolling box out here. Enough room to do everything here. Got ye old dice rolling cup. Made myself. Got the movement dice. So this is the barbarian's turn here. Moving first. All right, 6. You didn't quite see that. All right, so door opens. 1. Okay, so he has entered this quadrant of the board, and that means, so I'll just get a little better view there. That means that I need to put out the shadow tokens. So I've already pre-shuffled these. I haven't looked at them. So let me see. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's going to be a lot of them. There's going to be 16 of these. This is going to be, this might be one of the shortest games you've ever seen, but we will see. Okay, so let's see. We'll put, just to make it fair, we will put 4 of them in this room. Let's see, just kind of in the center like that. Makes sense. Now these don't get to move yet because the heroes are still doing their turns. Put 4 there. Wait a minute, what am I doing? This quadrant of the board. See, in Space Crusade, you actually have 4 boards, so it's a little easier to see. But here, you're kind of mentally dividing the board up. So there's going to be 4 there, 4 there. That's a room. There's a lot of them. Now, you could just like roll a die to say, okay, how many are there actually? But I don't know. I think this is either going to be a disaster for the heroes or it's going to be really fun. We'll see. Okay. So that was 16 of them. All right. Okay. So I moved 1. So the barbarian moved 1, and I'm controlling everybody, obviously, here. So let me just check the chat real quick. All right, we're doing fine here. So moved 1. So now I don't have to worry about traps. So he's not searching for traps. Normally he doesn't have to worry. And we're not going to be searching corridors for anything. There's no reason to search for secret doors. So I might as well, I mean, the whole point of the game is to kill monsters, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He didn't quite make it to the door. There. Okay, so we've got player 2. This is the wizard. I thought I'd kind of split everybody up like fighter, mage, fighter, or yeah, fighter, mage. I guess, yeah, I guess I did mage, fighter. But the idea would be the spellcaster goes ahead of somebody else so he could cast a spell on them. They would have a turn rather than doing the monster's turn next, and the spell maybe gets wasted. Okay, so 7 for the wizard. 1. You know what? I think it's probably best to stick together. I mean, yeah, these monsters will be coming. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He'd be in the doorway. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Open the door. So now that we've got an open door, he can see, does it reveal everything or just what is in view? I'm going to say what's in view. So he can see this one here. So we'll flip this over. It's a cupboard. Okay. So that's easy. We'll just put the cupboard there. See the little token? Maybe I should get this a little closer. See, I wanted to show you more of the board, but I'm going to have to keep readjusting this. Okay, so there's the cupboard. Just our lighting a little bit. Okay, and he can see, well, yeah, he can see this square. That is an orc. So our first monster has been revealed. An orc. Classic orc. And can he see this guy? I'm going to say, yeah. Actually, you know what? I think he can see all of them. He pretty much can. It's such a small enough room. So another orc and a table. Okay, so we'll put a table in the corner there. Again, I didn't look at the tiles, so I don't know what they're going to be until they're flipped over. Now, each of those orcs is worth 20 gold, so whoever kills them gets the gold. Now, since yeah, I'll keep track of who gets what individually. So there he is, and he's used up all his movement, so he could try to cast a spell or do something. The wizard standing in the doorway there. He's got a staff. He's going to throw his dagger at this first orc. So Tommy, he may be a pinball wizard, but let's see if he's a real wizard, if he's a knife throwing wizard. 1 skull. All right. So the orc defends with 2. So we'll get our monster dice out. These are the same distributions as the regular dice. They're just a different color. And he got 1 black shield. That's the monster shield of the immortal bunny of immortal evil, right? So he blocked it. So no damage, and the dagger is lost once it's thrown. Okay, so that's the end of the wizard's turn. Might have been a little foolish to do that, but we'll see. Bravado. Okay, next is the elf's turn. Move right along. 7. So we got the elf. 1, 2. He's going to follow suit. 3, 4, 5. He doesn't have quite enough distance to go. And I'm not using the house rule where you can bunny hop over top of someone's head. You know what? I think the elf is going to go ahead and cast Rock Skin on himself. That's this spell that gives you 1 extra defend dice until you lose 1 body point of damage. Since he doesn't have to worry about traps, I mean, yes, he could get like a hazard when he's searching for treasure. So that's used up now. So we'll just say rock skin. So it's +1. Just got to remember he's got the earth spells. That's normally how we played. We would give the elf the earth spells, and wizard gets everything else. Although technically anybody could have anything. It's just that usually the idea would be, okay, make sure the wizard has at least 1 healing, and then make sure the elf has healing. Even though the elf has way more body points, he's got 6 versus the wizard only has 4. The wizard takes a little more skill to use because he's got more to manage, and he's not necessarily a combat monster right off the bat. Okay. All right. So now it's the dwarf's turn. So if he doesn't get a good movement roll, the wizard's going to be in some trouble. All right, 6. Darn, not a very high roll there for, they're natural sprinters, but very fast over short distances, deadly over short distances. Okay. So red moves 1, 2, 3, 4. That's as far as he can go. Okay, well, it is now time for the monsters to go. So first thing we're going to do is draw the top Zargon card. I have shuffled these. There's 26 of them. Play this immediately after drawing it. Randomly pick a hero. That hero triggers an unseen pit trap. Place a pit trap tile on the board. And now I've got to randomly pick them. Okay, well, I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and grab these Dungeons and Dragons dice so that I can do a 4. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Welcome once again to HeroQuest fans. So I've only played Dungeons and Dragons maybe a handful of times. I don't own any of the games really. Well, I guess technically I own the Star Wars Saga version of it. But I did get these dice just on the off chance that I'd use them, and I thought they looked cool. So just a little bag of all kinds of crazy dice. Oh, there's some reproduction HeroQuest dice in there too. But yeah, people go crazy over these. They buy all these different, custom sets with different colors and styles. And look at this, it's like a golf ball. It's ridiculous. You don't use all these in D&D, but where's the 4-sided? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's a 4-sided die. Pretty weird, huh? So this would be to decide which of the 4 heroes has this unfortunate pit trap hit him. So we're gonna just assign it in order. So barbarians first, then wizard, then elf, then dwarf. So actually, all right, so how do we know? Oh, the one on top, so it's 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it happens to the elf. So he gets a pit trap underneath him. And since we're going by otherwise the North American rules, you can't fix the trap after the fact. It already happened to you. So he falls into the pit. Ah. Now that means everybody has to jump it, and he loses 1 body point, and that means his rock skin is gone. So wow, he really did not luck out there. So rock skin is gone, so he's back to defending with 2. Use pencil, it's much easier. All right, and so his body points are now down to 5. See, HeroQuest has a nice character sheet. You just write that there. Okay. So we did that. So that was the evil wizard card. So we'll have start a discard pile over here. And next, the monsters get to move. Now it's pretty clear what the monsters need to do. They need to move forward and attack the heroes. Now the one monster is going to block the door, so the other monster can't pass through him. So yeah, he might go the other direction. Of course, the wizard is the closest. So 1, 2, and the orc attacks because of course he does. What else would he do? I'm not going to be using the lone monster deck or parlay deck in this game. So the orc normally attacks with 3, attacking the wizard. Wait, I used the white dice. Sorry, I know it doesn't really matter, but use the Zargon dice. But... Okay, 2 skulls. Now the wizard defends with his 2, his standard 2. 2 skulls is pretty damaging. And he didn't get any defense. So the wizard has lost 2 body points. Now he can use his spell if he's down to 0 to save himself from dying. But that's about it. All right, so the next monster, he could move forward. Yeah, I guess he'll just kind of dumbly move forward. 1, 2, 3. And that's all he can do. Now, all these other tokens get to move on this quadrant of the board. So let's see. We've got these guys over here. Adjust the camera. There we go. That's better. Okay, so 1, 2, opening the door. Three, 4, 5. So no one can see it yet, so it's just still a shadow. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's as far as it can go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. These other shadows can move. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it can be seen by the wizard down here. Can be seen by the wizard. And so we'll flip that one over, and it's a goblin. An evil little goblin. Where did I put my goblins? Here we go. Only worth 5 gold. But he can still make a mess of things. If you let him. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gonna make room for these guys. I'm gonna say he can't be seen because he's behind those orcs. Even though normally, you can see monsters behind monsters if they're just in the room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're just kind of queuing up over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So you just got a big pile of monsters forming there. And that's all that the Forces of Chaos can do at the moment. This guy, well, no, wait a minute. He could, since he moved his 5, he's still got movement left. 1. But of course, if he moves into range, he's going to be attacked. Why would he do that? So there's still some monster intelligence. I guess I'm imparting some intelligence to him because he could just run up to the wall and just smack into the wall, but then the wizard could attack him with the staff. But why would he do that? So, yeah. I guess I'm making a little bit of an assumption there. I'm sure in the companion app he would just smash into the wall and just stand there and be an easy target. Oh yeah, and this door is now sealed shut. So they've got to escape through the staircase to get out of the quest. in that center room right there. Okay. Sorry, just making some adjustments here. That's a better view. Dice board, dice box. Okay, so now we are back to the barbarian. Now, even if he moves, he's not going to be able to go into the room because he can't pass through those monsters. But he does have a long sword. Well, let's see what his movement would be, because you can attack, move, and move, attack. He's got 5. I think what I'm going to have him do is just move over 1, 2. Now, going the opposite direction, he's going to have to jump the trap. You have to roll anything but a skull to avoid falling in the pit trap and taking damage. Now he's going to use his longsword to attack that orc there. Yeah. Let's just move this over here. I can see a little better. That's better. Oh, poor dwarf gets out of the frame. Okay. So there's our room, full of threat and danger. Attacking the orc. So now he attacks him with 3, because it's a longsword, and longswords are awesome. And he gets 2 skulls. It's like I still can't quite get it in frame. Okay, so 2 skulls against the orc. Now the orc defends with 2. The odds aren't good for him. Yeah, he didn't get anything. So he is dead. So he's killed, and 20 gold are collected by the barbarian. So we'll start a little pile there for him. I'm also going to write it on there in case the pile falls over. So now he used up his movement. So I guess that's all he's going to do there. Now I've got the wizard. So the wizard is probably going to get out of the way just because, yeah, he could use his magic, but it just seems kind of early to use it. Because I still know there's a finite number of Fimmers and Chaos Warriors and Gargoyle. So maybe I'll wait for those guys before I start really dishing out the spells. I mean, unless we're in big trouble. That's my thought process. So 11. Well, he's going to have to jump the trap anyway, unless he goes the opposite direction. Let's see, they could go up there, they could get through there. So they don't have to go that way. Just going to get out of the way. 1, 2. Just back up the barbarian there. Elf. Buddy the elf. Another roll of 11. Okay, turn it up to 11. Now he's going to get out of the pit trap, which doesn't require any action. He's going to move forward. 1, 2. Now he does have a crossbow. I did give him a crossbow at the start. So he could just fire his crossbow at that orc. In fact, I think that's exactly what he's going to do. So it's 3. Attack dice. 1 skull. Enemy defends with 2. No defense. He only has 1 body point, so he is killed. So the elf collects 20 gold. Bounty on the orc, so I'll just put it on his spot over here. So far, so good. Now the dwarf. Now the dwarf has to jump the trap if he's going to go that direction. But he could go the other way and just engage these other shadows in combat. Well, they'll be revealed as whatever they are as soon as he gets within range. So I think that's what we're going to have him do. A little bit of strategery on my part there. So that a little easier to see. Oh, it's too bright. Yeah, that's good. Just a little close up. Oh, that's why we were having problems. I was too close. Okay. So dwarf moves. 9. Yeah, that's too bright. It's probably as light as it needs to be. Okay, so 9. So 1, 2, 3. These guys come into view. We're going to say all of them come into view. Treasure chest. So the treasure chest explodes because it's in a corridor. Skeleton. So an evil skeleton. Is there any other kind? And a tomb. The tomb explodes. So those don't get used. I mean, maybe the tomb is what the skeleton came out of. Maybe it was like a subterranean thing that he just rose up out of the ground. Anyway, so he sees him. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now he's going to attack the skeleton with his battle axe, which is 4 attack dice. And he got 2 skulls. Now you think a skeleton would have more defense against skulls, but that's not really the case. A little joke there. Now I'm gonna have to refresh my memory. I don't remember the undead stats as well as I remember the other monsters. So I'm just gonna take a quick look. I'm just gonna use Yield-In's stats here rather than looking at the cards because I don't want to reveal the wandering monster yet by looking at the cards myself. So a skeleton. I want to say the skeleton has the lowest defense. He attacks with 2, defends with 2, and he's only got 1 body point. So, okay, so 2 skulls, and now the skeleton is going to defend. So all you undead players can laugh because you've got these stats memorized. Okay, so he blocked 1, and he is destroyed by the other one because he only has 1 body point. So he is killed, and again, and there's 10 gold for the dwarf. All right, so far so good for them. And that is the end of the hero's turn. So now we draw Zargon Evil Wizard card. Play this card immediately after hero declares an attack, but before rolling any dice. Hero's attack automatically misses. Well, there's really no way that could be used, so I guess just the next attack is going to miss, but then I wouldn't, yeah, I don't know. Let's just say it's wasted. There's really no way to do that because this deck wasn't created custom for this scenario, so yeah, just nothing. And like I could backtrack and say his attack missed, or like the next attack anybody makes is going to miss, but no. Okay, so there's that. So now oh yeah, these monsters are now in view, these shadows. So we're going to flip these over. That's a skeleton, first one there. That is a gargoyle. Ooh, the big nasty gargoyle. And we're going to flip over these others. I mean, I guess this is just how I'm going to interpret how to do that. So put a goblin behind him. And this last one, could he be seen as well? I guess you get a glimpse of all of them at once. It's another orc. classic thing you can do, which you can't do with the new system, is pull the wings off the gargoyle so that maybe he fits just a little bit easier in the room, even though he doesn't look as cool without his wings. He rips off his own wings so that he is dedicated to the fight. Okay, now the goblin, but if he's going to block the door, it's the old door blocking technique problem. Okay, well, clearly the gargoyle is going to need to go first because he is the strongest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the gargoyle is going to attack poor Buddy the elf. Yeah, it's starting to look like the HeroQuest fans logo a little bit. So the gargoyle attacks with 4. He defends with 5. But he attacks with 4 against the elf, who has no special armor. So it's just going to be his usual 2. All right, 2 skulls. Elf defends. Doesn't have his rock skin. Okay, 1 white shield. So he takes 1 damage. So he is now down to 4. All right. Other monsters can move, but since none of them have diagonal attacks, I didn't see fit to give them like spears or crossbows or anything. I guess they can just form a wall of monsters here. 1, 2. One good thing about the Space Crusade figures is they have the underside of the figure is like a cone. And so these little tiles, the blip tokens, will fit perfectly underneath because they're smaller and they get pushed along as you move the character, whereas here they're just kind of riding on top. So it's not quite as perfect a solution. Now with remake figures actually would work better. So here's the reason for me to use the remake with this. Okay, so move the skeleton forward. I'm going to move the orc forward. 1, 2, 3. See, they're all back a square. Just trying to do it without totally jostling the camera. It's like transparent furniture. That's why you do that, so you can see a little bit better. And move the little goblin forward. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna move these shadow figures. Or should they move? They could move any direction, but they're gonna move towards the heroes. That's how they're supposed to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Other ones can move towards the dwarf. 1, 2. Obviously, flip it over. Oh, it's a Chaos Warrior. Ha. All right, so our first Chaos Warrior. A worthy opponent. And it's, of course, going to attack Red the Dwarf with 4. Because he has a mighty axe as well. Cockeyed. I'm going to reroll that one. Still 3 skulls. So 3 skulls. Very dangerous against the dwarf. The dwarf only has his standard 2. Now he does have his cards. But there's really nothing for him to do right now. So, okay, so he blocks 1 and he takes 2 damage. So he is down to 5. So everybody's been wounded except for the barbarian, Conan, so far. He knows what is best in life. All right, now it is the hero's turn again. So far, so interesting. Let's just check the stream here, see how we're doing. Still got our 2 regulars. Thanks for sticking with us here. I recently discovered the raiding ability. So if we've got one of our friends running a stream, at the end of the stream, we can always try to raid them, even if it's just 1 or 2 of us. Got some cool guys. The Strange Bus, he's been doing a lot of like retro Star Wars stuff, which is pretty cool. Not that I have any problem with PS5, but I'm a little more partial to the older games. And then Gareth Haridmar has done some cool painting. Yeah, there's some other people like that. All right, I think that's enough rolling. Okay, 7. So this is for the Barbarian. So Conan, he can't really get in position. Actually, you know, he's in a pretty good position now with his longsword because he can still strike. See, he's in the perfect spot. It's the classic door blocking technique. The monsters don't have any way to counter it at this stage. They could just go around, I guess. But I made them dumb on purpose, and so they're not going to. They're just going to keep where they're at. So he's going to attack the gargoyle again with 3. 2 skulls. The gargoyle defends with 5. He's got the highest defense of any of the game system standard monsters. Oh, and he only blocked 1 of those. So the gargoyle takes 1 damage, and to do that, of course, to represent that, you're supposed to put a skull tile underneath him, which is easier said than done, but we'll just put 1 underneath. So now he's got 2 tiles underneath him. Now he's worth 150 gold, so he's a big prize to be had. So it's almost like the heroes are competing to see who can get him. Let's take a swig of tea here. Cheers to Dead Gamer and all the Dead Gamers out there. You know who you are. Live long and prosper, brothers. All right, and sisters. Okay, so Barbarian is not really... You know what? He could move. I'm going to move just 1, 2 over here, because that way the wizard could get into position. All right, so Tommy, the wizard, is going to move 9. Just forward 1. And, you know, at this stage, I'm going to say he's going to use some magic. So if we were playing the demagicified world, he would be an alchemist, and he'd be throwing some alchemy powers out there, skills. But since I'm just using the standard magic, it's just the standard magic. So let's see, what should he use? I'm thinking a couple possibilities here. He can reach the elf to cast Courage on the elf if you wanted to. He could also heal somebody. He could use Tempest. I think he's going to use the genie against the gargoyle. Because yes, the gargoyle is damaged, but the gargoyle has 3 body points, so he has 2 left. So if I use the genie, that's 5 combat dice against the gargoyle. Now he gets to defend like he normally would, but it's a nice good attack, and it could take him down. So give those a good shake. Oh, too bad that was wasn't a defensive roll. Look at that. So only 1 skull. Well, now the gargoyle gets to defend, and he's going to try to laugh that off with this 5. 5 attack, 5 defense. Oh, but he didn't get any defense. No monster shields at all. So he still takes 1. Okay, well, fair enough. So whoops, that's now used up, and I knocked over the barbarian. Huh? Okay, so that's used up. Flip that over. And we'll put another skull underneath him. Now I do have a monster body point tracker, but I didn't think to pull it out because I mean none of the monsters have more than 3 anyway. So there's another skull we'll put underneath him. So 1 more hit and he's history. He's just gonna be a lawn gnome in somebody's yard after this. Okay. Wizard did that, and I think he's going to stay put otherwise. Now the elf has lost his advantage because he can't fire his crossbow at close range like that. So he's back to just his, well, he's got his spells. They're not really going to do him any good at this point. He can just attack with a short sword. So that's just 2. Now, if he moves out of the way, he's going to expose the wizard to danger. So I think he's just going to have to be a hero and stay there. So he's attacking the gargoyle, but he completely whiffed. Completely whiffed. And I didn't give him any combat cards because he's a magic user. He's a mage. All right. So now it's up to the dwarf. So meanwhile, the dwarf over here was dealing with a chaos warrior. So he's going to give him a mighty blow with his axe. Not using the mighty blow. Actually, you know what? He could use one of these. He could use this, as I'm interpreting it, because this was a homebrew card, to say that instead of attacking with 4, he's going to use his defense dice as extra attack dice. So he gets to use this up, and he would attack with 6 combat dice against that gargoyle. Might as well. So a really big attack. Berserker Fury. All right, and he got 3 skulls. Awesome. So his Berserker Fury is now used up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Made a mistake. I applied that to the dwarf. The dwarf doesn't have this card. This is the barbarian. Excuse me. So he can't do that. He's only got his 4 because he's got slip and luck. I apologize, folks. See, HeroQuest is my game. I shouldn't be making these little errors. But you know, sometimes your mind wants a certain outcome, and so you kind of go towards that, and you don't realize you're making a mistake. I did one of those when I was playing Space Crusade. You know, I was so excited to finally get a hit on the Dreadnought that I didn't realize I was shooting right through a wall. And really, if I had aimed the shot in the correct manner, it would have blown through one of my own guys and damaged him quite severely, in fact. So I didn't realize until after the game was over and I watched the video. I was like, oops. Okay, so forget all that. He's got slip and he's got luck, neither of which will do him any good in this situation. So he's just going to roll. I'm going to re-roll. He's just going to roll the standard 4 for his battle axe. Okay, he gets 2 skulls. All right. And the Chaos Warrior defends with 4, just like he attacks with 4. It's easy to remember. Okay, so 2 skulls and no defense. So boom, boom. He's taken 2 hits, and he's got 1 left. So just like the Gargoyle, he's got 3 body points. Classic Chaos Warrior. Yeah, they call them Dread Warriors in the new game, but we've got the Warhammer Fantasy world loosely inspired here, so we're going to go with the classic terminology. I'll probably still call them Chaos Warriors when playing the remake. Just how I roll. And yes, you can get shirts and mugs that say this is how I roll, and it shows the HeroQuest combat dice. Whoever made those, cheers to you. Okay, so I did that attack, and now that's the end of the, well, unless he runs away. I guess he could run and force the monster to follow him. Sure. Just to do everything I can. 11, because the monster is going to pursue me. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now, monster's turn. Chaos turn. Still the chaos player. So we're going to, that's a little close. Okay, flip this over. Lure of Chaos. Start of your turn, choose 1 mercenary, not a hero. Okay, well, it would turn one of your guys bad, but since I don't have any, it's wasted. See, I could have pulled these cards out, say, well, the cards that don't apply don't get used, but the thing is, it's like it could be something bad, but just like when you're playing Space Crusade, like, oh, anybody with a bolter like has a malfunction. Well, if I don't have anybody with bolters, it's just a wasted card. So I got off easy. Let's look at it that way. Now the monsters get to move. So first thing we're going to do is move the Chaos Warrior and his pile of tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4. And yes, it doesn't tip over. And he's going to attack the dwarf with his standard 4 combat dice. 2 skulls. And the dwarf is going to only defend with 2. And he got 1. He blocked 1 and he took 1 damage. So now he's down to 4 body points. All right. Let's just raise this up a little. Not quite as cool as Gareth Haldamar's thing where he spins up he shakes up his paint, he vibrates the paint, and it looks like you're doing the Wayne's World like flashback, like which of course Wayne's World, they were copying old movies where they distort the screen to show that a flashback is coming or a dream sequence or a magic spell. Okay, so obviously we've got the gargoyle attacking the poor elf. So he's going to attack with 4. And he gets 3 skulls. Wow, that was a powerful hit. 3 skulls. And the poor elf only defends with 2. And he got nothing. So he takes 3 hits of damage. So he's down to 1 body point. Now, since this is what the bad guys would do, I mean, no dispute at all. He's going to move out of the way in his mountain of tiles. Whoa! Knock everything down. Okay. That's okay. We'll just say it got knocked over in the fighting, knocked over the cupboard. So the gargoyle moves to the side, and then one of these other monsters can move forward. So the closest one is the skeleton. So we'll just say skeleton moves forward. I need one of those little rakes that they use to move the troops around, in the war room. I forget what they're called. I looked it up one time, then I promptly forgot. But it was, something cool. And it was like, oh, it'd be cool to have one of those. It's like a roulette rake, but it's specifically for moving like miniatures of like submarines and planes and troops around the board. When the board is too big for you to reach your hand down and comfortably move everything. So just a little something to move them, or maybe like a magnet on the other underside of the table. Can dream. Okay, so the skeleton's going to attack. Skeleton attacks with 2. Attacking the elf. 1 skull. Elf defends with 2. Oh, no defense. So he is dead. The elf has just been reduced to 0 body points. Now, he does have a spell, which, according to the North American rules, automatically kicks in. Now, he couldn't do this in the European rules, and he gets 4 back. So he's back to life with 4. Revived. All right. So even with the bigger board, it's still cramped. You notice that? It's just a little bit crowded. Okay, so these other monsters really aren't going to be able to get much closer. This goblin will move forward. These guys will 1, 2, 1. Oh, I guess they could, yeah, but there's no point in them moving closer. Not really, anyway. Okay, so that is the end of the bad guy's turn. Now we go to the heroes again. So the barbarian, he's in a perfect spot to strike at the skeleton with his longsword. Let's just roll to see what his movement is first. Okay. 8. Now he's going to attack skeleton with his longsword. Easy target. 1 skull. Monster defends with 2. Skeleton defends. No defense. It is destroyed. So now the barbarian collects 10 gold for killing the skeleton. Add that to his pile. So they can collect gold fast even without searching with this bounty system. Now the Japanese game system, that's how it worked. I mean, you're killing monsters left and right, you're getting gold, you're collecting it. Of course, in that one you needed it to try to level up. In between quests, you had to roll your dice to see, and there was only a chance. You know, you had to pay 500 up front to see if you could potentially get an extra body point beyond your maximum. But you could end up with a lot of them if you were, you had good dice rolls. All right. Oop, I'm out of throat lozenges. This is not good. I might have to make a run for them, but hopefully not. I think for now I'll just pop a piece of gum, but we just won't pop gum. It's fruity gum. I can suck on that and get a little bit of moisture in my throat so it doesn't get scratchy. Okay, so we killed the skeleton. So he could move. And in fact, I think he probably should, just because that elf is in big trouble otherwise. So he's going to move into the room and use himself as a shield. 1, 2, like so. Now, he is in a great spot because, yes, I could use the Berserker Fury on a future turn. I mean, I guess I could have used it just then, but why waste it on the skeleton? So let's say the wizard is now going to go, and the wizard is going to cast Courage. He's going to use Courage on the barbarian, which is a classic thing to do. Throw the barbarian in the midst of a bunch of monsters, use Courage on him. So now he has 2 extra combat dice as long as he can see a monster. And in the remake, they clarify that means line of sight. So that's how they do it. So we'll just say that is in effect. So Courage. So that means he has 5 attack when he's attacking. Okay, so the wizard did that. Wizard did it, of course. And I think he's just going to stay put otherwise where he is. And now it's the elf's turn. Now, does the elf want to risk himself? I think for now he's going to... I see. Okay, I got to roll first. Token roll. 7, but he's just going to move to the side 1. Like so. Okay, now the dwarf. Let's roll his movement. So he's got 9. And he is just going to fight with his battle axe against the Chaos Warrior here. Okay, it's out of camera. There we go. There we go. Okay, so he's got 3 skulls against the Chaos Warrior. Chaos Warrior defends with 4. No defense. So he is finally killed. So after destroying that Chaos Warrior, the dwarf collects 100 gold. Nicely done. So he's leading so far. Now, does Zargon get points for killing the heroes? Well, I didn't really think that far in this little mod, because it's kind of like Zargon isn't there. It's just all automated. Okay. All right. So the dwarf did that. He could move now. Maybe do a flanking maneuver. He's got 8 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's in the room there. Where is everybody? Wait, what am I saying? He can't pass through there. Unless I bumped that door out of alignment. Yeah. Yeah, there's no way. Now, on his next turn, he can search that room for treasure, which is to my advantage. So yeah, that's where I want him. That'll be fine. One thing some people created on Ye Olde Inn is, they do these 3D boards made out of resin and cardboard and foam and stuff, and they put little torches along the way, which light up the various sections. I think that's a really cool idea. Of course, I don't have that kind of time, patience, and expense to do that, but if you can, more power to you. So that every area is equally well lit and has cool mood lighting. Okay, so it's the monster's turn now. Just prolonging the inevitable. I will kill him. Okay. All right, ambush. Play this card if a hero moves around a corner or through a doorway. Well, he just did. Place the quest's wandering monster anywhere next to the hero. It attacks immediately. As you are walking, a monster stalks you and attacks. Okay, well now we get to see what the wandering monster was that we drew randomly. And he's going to attack the dwarf. So, ready? I did not see what this was to begin with. Mummy. It's a mummy. Okay, so that's going to be the wandering monster for the quest. Now, this mummy is not worth any gold, but he gets to attack. So, I guess he could be anywhere. Let's say he blocks the door. It's a very Zargon thing to do. Okay, so he's going to attack. And now that we've revealed that, we can pull out all the monster cards and not have to worry about spoiling anything, just in case we need to reference them. So he attacks with 3. But he also defends with 4. So 1 skull, and then the dwarf defends with his usual 2. He blocked it. Okay, finally somebody blocked the whole attack there. Okay, but now the monsters get to move, and technically you would think it gets to attack again, but it wasn't a wandering monster revealed by a treasure search. So normally when you get a wandering monster, it's a treasure search, it's a hero's turn, it's like a free turn for Zargon. Since this happened on the evil player's turn, the chaos turn, chaos, because it's random, see? That's why it works. I like that. Okay. Um, he doesn't get another attack. He doesn't get another movement. It attacks immediately. Okay. So now the other monsters get to move. So first things first, obviously, the gargoyle is going to attack. Just get right in his big ugly mug there. All right. Scare me there a little bit. Gargoyle man. So he's going to attack the barbarian with 3. 1 skull. Barbarian defends. 2. No defense. And so he goes down. Finally, he takes 1 hit of damage, and he goes down to 7. Okay. That's interesting. I think I dropped one of these. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, got it. All right. So, yeah, the gargoyle attacked, and he lost. The barbarian lost a little bit of health there. Look at that little goblin behind him. He's just in the shadows. So this goblin is going to attack this goblin here. It's going to attack the barbarian. He only gets to attack with 2. He's a little guy. 2 skulls. Wow. Nice hit. Okay. 2 defense for the barbarian. Blocked 1 and he gets hit. He takes another hit. Down to 6 body points. Conan the barbarian. Conan. All right. So the goblin is going to move out of the way. 1, 2. Buckle my goblin shoe. This one gets revealed. It's a mummy. So this mummy is worth points. And you know what? That one's going to move forward and attack the barbarian with 3. 1 skull. Barbarian defends. Takes another point of damage. He's just getting rocked. Down to 5. He's got courage, so these monsters are going to have to try to take him out. Otherwise, they're in big trouble. Okay, orc moves. Attacks the barbarian with 3 also. Okay, he totally whiffed. Okay, I guess that's a little bit too much of an extreme close-up. That's a little better. Okay. So the orc missed. He got all excited seeing that mummy and everything. So let's see. These other shadows, they could move and be revealed, but then they would be in range of being attacked. So I guess they're just not really going to do anything. I mean, they're supposed to move towards the heroes, but they just don't have any. I guess that one can move forward. Like that. Because, yeah, do they just dumbly run forward and then just be in range? Okay. Am I going to do anything else here? I don't think so. So you don't have to think as hard on the bad guy's turn. Just have to make sure that you do everything that like a computer would do to just make sure everything, all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Okay. Barbarian. He could run out of the room, but I think instead he's going to just attack everybody. So finally, thinking clearly, I'm going to use the Berserker Fury, which he can use, and we're going to go ahead and roll 5 dice because he would have 2 defense dice that he turns into attack dice, plus his 3. Oh, wait. It's even better than that because he actually has courage on, so it's 2 more. So actually he has 7 dice. So, yeah. We're going to roll 6, and then we're going to roll 1 more. So that will be his mega roll. And he gets to distribute it amongst any creatures adjacent as he sees fit. Doesn't say diagonal, it says adjacent. So for sure he can try to take out that gargoyle. Okay, so he's got 4 skulls there. We'll roll 1 more because it would actually be 7 dice. And it's another skull. Okay, so 4 skulls. So he's got 4 skulls to distribute amongst the targets. So let's see how much does that gargoyle only has 1 left. So let's apply. Let's apply 2 skulls to the gargoyle. And let's apply 2 to the mummy. How about that? So 2 and 2. So now each of them gets to defend, of course. So the gargoyle defends with 5. So he's got 2 skulls against him. So I remember it. 2 skulls. Oh, he got 2 black shields. So he actually blocked both of them. Well, too bad for the barbarian. Okay. Now the mummy gets to roll. Also, well, he rolls 4 in defense. So 2 skulls against him. And he blocks both of them. Wow. How about that for some good good monster rolls? Actually, I could go for some good monster rolls right about now. Maybe with some hot melted butter on them. If anybody wants to whip that up for me, just send it my way. Care of HeroQuest fans. All right. So that was a complete and utter failure. So we'll flip over the Berserker Fury. I mean, he meant well. He was just like with his with his mighty longsword, and it didn't quite pan out the way he wanted. Now it doesn't say that you can do it if they apply it to other monsters anyway. So that's it. He could still move, but I like him in the thick of things, even though he's only got five uh, body points left and no way to heal. All right. Next, we've got the wizard. I think the wizard is going to need to step in and do something. Now, I know the gargoyle is almost defeated. 11. Okay. He's going to move. Well, but if he moves there, he's going to block the elf. Of course, the elf doesn't really have anything to do on his own anyway. All right, the wizard's going to move forward, and then he's going to use, you know what? He's going to use Fire Wrath on the gargoyle there. Fire of Wrath. So as everybody remembers, Fire Wrath is 1. If they roll a 5 or a 6, it counters the 1 body point of damage they would otherwise receive. So this is for the gargoyle's defense. So 1 body point. He rolled a 6, so he takes no damage. Darn. Okay. Well, that was kind of a waste. All right. Now the elf. I don't know. I guess there's not much he can do. We can roll for movement. 7, and he's just going to move over here to where the wizard is. All right, monsters. Oh no, not monsters. I skipped the dwarf. What about me, laddie? All right. So red, the dwarf, is going to go up there. He's got this opponent that he's fighting. He's going to use his battle axe to attack that. Whoops, that did not count. He's going to use the battle axe to attack that mummy. 3 skulls against the mummy. And the mummy is going to defend with 4, so he does have a chance. And he got nothing. Absolutely nothing. So he killed that mummy. Now, as you can see, this was a special one, so there's no gold value. So he just got a kill, but he's okay. Now he's going to roll for movement. He only got 4. It's a pretty small roll, so we'll just move to the door. It's really not much he can do otherwise. So, all right. Monster's turn. First thing, draw a card. Chaos Energy. Play this card immediately before a hero attacks a monster. Restore 1 lost body point to any one monster. Monster's wounds begin to heal. Well, before he attacks a monster. You know, I mean, it's tempting to just try to use this one just to make the game more interesting. Because normally I think it would do nothing. Let's use it to heal the gargoyle. So the gargoyle is going to get 1 body point back. So now instead of 1, he's got 2. So before anyone attacks him, he gets one back. Okay. Now we're going to do our attacks. So naturally, we're going to start with the gargoyle attacking the barbarian. Attacking with 4. Completely missed. Missed her completely. All right, now he could get out of the way, but why would he want to? So next, the mummy is going to attack barbarian with 3. And he got 1 skull. Barbarian defends with 2. 1 shield. He blocked it. Okay, now the orc is going to attack. The orc only attacks with 3. Attacking the barbarian. 3 skulls. Wow. Wow. 3 skulls, and barbarian defends with 2. No defense. Wow. So he loses 3. So he's down to 2 body points. He's in big trouble. Now the orc is going to move out of the way, because of course he does. 1. If I can get it to move. Okay. And now one of these shadows is going to move. Shadow tiles is going to move forward into that position, and it's another orc. So once it's revealed as an orc, that orc is going to attack the barbarian and try to finish him off. So that orc rolls 3. Just get that light focused on there. Knock over the cupboard again. 2 skulls. Barbarian. Block, and he loses 1. So he's down to 1. He's got 1 left. Now that mummy could move out of the way so that the goblin could attack him. Probably should have done that earlier. So 1, 2, mummy moves out of the way. Not that a goblin is going to do much, but could finish him off. There. Goblin attacks with 2. This could be the end of the barbarian's career. A short career. 2 skulls. Oh man. Does he have anything? He doesn't have anything. Ching! And then he gets hit by the other one. He is dead. Barbarian is gone. Now, was I giving too much intelligence to the monsters in this scenario? I don't know. Because what player would want to kill the barbarian? Well, somebody who wanted to take more stuff. And the sad thing is, not only does he die and he loses his courage, since he died in a room by himself with monsters, I mean, all his friend heroes are out here, all his stuff gets claimed by monsters and you can't get it back. So the 30 gold that he had is crossed off. He's gone. So sad. Too bad. His points go to no one. All right. So that's the end of the barbarian. Okay, now the monsters have done their dastardly deeds. This shadow could move 1, 2, flip over. Oh, and it's a sorcerer's table. Well, so it explodes because it can't block the door. Boom. It's gone. All right. Now it's time for the heroes to try to recoup their loss here. So since there's no more barbarian, oh yeah, and his heroic sacrifice, he could take the blow intended for another member of the party, but he can't like transfer that to someone else. Like, oh, take the hit, somebody else. He was a hero, he died a hero. Okay, so the wizard's turn, he better pull out something and something fast. So he's going to use Ball of Flame on the gargoyle. So that means 2 body points of damage unless he can roll a 5 or 6 on 2 red dice. So for each one he rolls, damage is reduced by 1 point. So he could just get no damage. He got a 5, so he takes 1 point of damage. So we'll add another skull. So He has 1 left once again. So Ball of Flame is used up. So he's now used up all his fire spells the wizard has. See, it's pretty challenging. And now the wizard can move. This is the wizard moving. Seriously, look at that. That never happens. Okay. 4. Any cockeyed die, you reroll. I mean, normally this is a pretty nice setup, but I mean, if there's just like a piece of lint there or something, I guess it could mess it up. So 4, I think he's gonna move out of the way. Now he does have healing, but he's gonna need it. And the elf, well, the elf has 4 as well, so he's gonna move out of the way. So you just moved out of the way, and the elf is gonna roll. 10. Now, if he moves into the room, he can only hit so many people with his crossbow. Can he hit the gargoyle through the doorway? I mean, it kind of looks like he can. Maybe. I think normally, yeah, it's hard to say. I think he has to move into the doorway. So 1. Now, I guess he can really only hit the goblin if I'm trying to be fair about this. I mean, I could get the little stick out and try to measure the trajectory of the arrows, but it's too nitpicky. So we'll just say he's attacking the goblin. It's pretty certain he's going to get rid of him. I mean, that's the one that killed the barbarian. It's like revenge points. Avenge him. So 1 skull, and then he defends with 1 because he's a goblin. Lowest defense of any monster. Failed to defend. He was killed, and so those 5, that paltry 5 gold goes to the elf. Buddy, pal. All right, now it's the dwarf's turn. Now the dwarf has been biding his time, hoping that he could search for treasure. So he's going to search for treasure in that room. So we're going to take our massive treasure deck here with extra cards in it. Draw the first one. Spell scroll. Inside an old leather wrapping, you find a rolled up piece of parchment with strange arcane writings on it. Draw 1 card from the spell scroll deck. It's another homebrew deck. Keep it until you use it. Return this card to the treasure pile. Okay. So I'll put it at the bottom of the deck there. All right. Here is the spell scroll deck, and this has been shuffled, but these are, I think they're all good cards. There might be 1 bad card in here. Heal body, spell scroll. So it's just like magic, just like the earth spell, but the dwarf gets it. Now he could hand it to someone because it's an object. It's an item. So those are found on Ylden. So we'll say spell scroll, writing on his character sheet here. Heal body. He's got slip and luck that he could use as far as combat cards. All right. So he did that, and now he can move. Get out of there. So I guess he has to jump the trap because there's no other way to get back. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Back that way. Back towards the pit trap. All right, monster's turn. It's not going so well for the heroes as I thought. I mean, they did well at the start, but they're taking a lot of losses. Map. Play this card immediately after drawing it. One of the heroes may pick an unexplored room. The contents of this room must be revealed without opening the door. Well, I mean, I guess, because we're playing with these homebrew rules. So, I don't know. Let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rooms. Do we have a 9-sided die I could roll to pick one at random? Let's see. Once again, we'll get the D&D dice out. Second time I've thought about using these. So do we have 9-sided dice? Well, that's 4. That's 6. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10-sided. Let's see this one. It's also 10-sided. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 12-sided. Okay. It's 8-sided. Maybe we don't have a 9-sided die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 20. And that looks like 30, and this looks like 60. So wait a minute. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. 24-sided dice. Yeah, we don't have a 9-sided die. Why did I think that there was such a thing? Oh, I see. No. That makes sense. Because this die right here has 0 through 9. So if it's 0, you just roll again. So you saw how I did that. So the unexplored rooms, well, no, wait a minute. It's not, because this room and that room have already had their blip tokens revealed. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So 0 is nothing. We'll just re-roll in that case. Okay, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this room, you can't see what I'm pointing at. That room is revealed. So that room, we'll put out the blip tokens. Just put 4 of them in there. I call them blip tokens. They're actually shadow tokens. Blip tokens are the Space Crusade thing that inspired the shadow tokens. Okay. All right. So that's revealed then. Map. Let's turn that card over. So now the monsters get to move. So the gargoyle could go first, in which case he'll be the only one that gets to attack anybody. But he is the strongest. So we'll move the gargoyle on his teetering pile of tokens there. He's going to attack the elf. I'll put the D&D dice away. Just for the moment. You can tell I don't use those very much, but it's fun to find a use for them. Rather than, you buy all this stuff and you never use it. It's kind of silly. Why'd you spend your money on something you never were going to use? Okay, so he's going to attack. We can put his wings back on. There's getting more room in that room. This is something you can't do with the remake unless you get out a pair of scissors or something. And some glue. Whoops. Or some sticky tack, poster tack, blue tack, whatever you want to call that stuff. Oh, it's Leaning Tower of Pisa. Leaning Tower of Gargoyle. Okay. Attacking the elf. Attacks with 4. All right, 1 skull. Attacking the elf. Elf defends with 2. Blocked it. Ka-ching. All right, other monsters, they're really not in range to do any attacking, but let's just move the mummy forward 1. Let's move the goblin forward 2. And then we've got these other shadows over here. Let's just play with the lights here. Fix the lights. Fix the lights. Ooh, dark and scary. Okay. These guys get to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, the light is kind of glaring off of them a little bit. See a little better there. All right, let's check the chat. We've been I've just been totally engrossed in this. So hour and 45 minutes in. So welcome once again if you're tuning in late to HeroQuest fans. We've got another TV viewer in Cax Ips 06, our regulars here. Thank you for joining us. And of course, anybody watching on YouTube, welcome. Watching us on the replay. Okay, so now it is time for the heroes to stand. Okay, now the wizard has used up all of his attack abilities, but that doesn't mean he can't do anything. He can actually use a Tempest on the gargoyle to make him lose a turn. But the only thing is, if he uses it and the guys kill him, it's kind of like, what was the point? I'm just going to roll his movement because I have an idea. I'm just kind of curious if this crazy idea might work. 6. Not the greatest idea I've had. Yeah, I think he's going to move. Yeah, doesn't matter that much. It's a long shot because he defends with 5. It's just that he's so powerful. Let's see. Sleep. Oh, you know what? I probably should have pulled that out much earlier. I keep forgetting how good of a spell that is. Sleep will let you stun a monster, and you can just like hit him, and it's not an attack spell, but it might as well be, just about. Because that gargoyle is just such a threat. I mean, yes, he only has 1 body point left. On the other hand, if I use Tempest, he can't move, and he's going to be hit the next turn. So I think I'm just going to use Tempest on him. So Tempest puts a small whirlwind around him, and so he loses a turn. So the gargoyle loses a turn. And now the wizard is just going to, I guess, move out of the way. 1, 2. All right, next we've got the elf, of course, Buddy the elf. 7. He really should attack, but he just doesn't have the full strength. He can only use his short sword. So he's going to attack the gargoyle. Completely missed. But he can still move out of the way. So he's going to move 1 to the side here so that the dwarf can move. Now the dwarf is going to have to, first of all, see. Now he's got heal body. Too bad he wasn't in time to save the barbarian. Okay, he's got 10. Plenty of movement to jump the trap. Now he has to roll anything but a skull. Watch him roll a skull and fall in. Jump in the trap. Ah, he fell in. Ah. And so he loses 1, and so he is down to 3 body points. So he's in the trap. And that's the end of his turn. Okay, monster's turn. Chaos turn. Bad guy's turn. Yeah. All right, Ruthless Attack. Play this card if a hero rolls any black shields on a defense roll. Well, see, it's really not the case, so yeah, we'll just say that one's wasted. Unless it be like the next time he does it, but I hadn't planned that far ahead, really. Let's swap out some of these doors because we've got closed doors again for some of these. All right. Monsters are now going to move. Well, so the gargoyle can't do anything. He loses a turn. These other monsters are just kind of stuck. I mean, I guess the mummy could move forward because there's nothing in his way except for the wings of the gargoyle. Ah! See, it's these wings that are weighing him down, ironically. It's because the smaller tile is underneath those bigger tiles. We'll just remove the wings to make it a little easier. Put that goblin back after that massive statue fell on him and crushed him. Not really. All right, and the other monsters are just kind of where they are. But I can move these shadows over here. Too bright. Okay. Let's have to move the dice box out of the way. Dice rolling box. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Now that's a secret door, just out of frame. But it's technically like an open door. So opening the door. 2, 3, 4. Opening the door. 5. So we're in the room. Put some closed door there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's all really the monsters can do. Okay. Now it's the wizard's turn once more. So he finds himself in the same position he was in, but now he's got to decide, is he going to use sleep? I mean, it's a tough fight right now. Yeah, might as well. Okay, so he's going to use sleep on the gargoyle. So now the gargoyle can try to counter that immediately or on a future turn by rolling a 1 for each of its mind points. Now the gargoyle, how many mind points does he actually have? Because he's got quite a few. I mean, he's like the strongest of the monsters. So he's got 4 mind points. So he's got 4 chances to counter this and wake up if he rolls a 6. Okay. So chance number 1, he rolled a 6. Wow, resilient. So this is wasted, or it's countered. Well, he tried. Okay, so the wizard's got some movement. You should have just attacked him, but it's such a low roll, only 1. 8. Well, he better get out of there because he's now a target. But he's got to try to jump the trap. And if he fails to jump the trap, he's going to take some damage. He's down to 2. But the elf can still get in the way and try to save him. So I guess he's just going to stay where he's at. The elf is now going to move into position. Now the elf has already used his heal body, so he's got to be careful. So 9. There goes the elf. And with all of his might, he's going to attack that gargoyle and hope that he actually destroys him with his short sword. 1 skull. Now he's not asleep, so he has his normal defense of 5. And against 1 skull. And yeah, he easily deflected it. All right, the dwarf's turn, but the dwarf really can't do a whole lot. Yes, he can. So he's going to move. Dwarf's going to move. 7. And he's going to move forward 1, and he's going to give his heal body spell scroll. He's going to pass it to the elf. So now the elf has it. So he could use it. Now, even though, I mean, it's an artifact, really. It functions as a spell. So if the elf dies, he can revive with that, because it would kick in automatically. Even though it's not a spell or a potion, I mean, it functions like a spell, just like a temporary, and it doesn't matter. Any hero can use it. Okay, so that's what he did. He gave it to him, and I think that's all he's going to do. So monster's turn, chaos turn, draw a card. Monster swap. Swap the positions of any 2 revealed monsters on the board. As if by magic, the monsters have switched places. Well, it doesn't do a whole lot strategically, but I guess. Could I have 1 attack and then move him out of the way? Could save the gargoyle. That'd be kind of funny, actually. So we'll switch the mummy and the gargoyle, just for laughs here. So the gargoyle's over there. Mummy is going to be right in front of the door. Kind of like castling in chess. So the gargoyle stays alive. Okay, so now the mummy is going to attack. They didn't have to do that, but it's like the card is played before anybody does anything. So the mummy is going to attack the elf. 2 skulls. Elf defends. And he blocked one of them, and he gets hit by the other one. Those 2 skulls, right? Yeah, 2 skulls. Okay, so he's down to 3 body points. But he can still move because that was a magic swap before. So he's going to move 1, 2 away from the heroes so that another monster can move forward. And now I guess he didn't accomplish anything there. The gargoyle is going to move forward and attack. Nothing really changed because he could have done that the other way. He could have attacked, moved out of the way, and then had the mummy do his attack. So now he's going to attack the elf with 4. So gargoyle's attacking the elf with 4. Did a good roll. 3 skulls. He's only got 2 defense. 3 skulls. Cockeyed. We're re-rolling that one. No defense at all. So elf is dead. But since the dwarf gifted him the heal body, that automatically is used. And so he's back with 4. He's died twice so far. He's too brave, and his rock skin didn't help him. Okay, so the other monsters really aren't in a position to do anything special, so we'll just go back to the shadows. See what these shadowy figures are doing. So we've got, we'll just go down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open the door. I'm going to swap out that closed door because I don't have enough closed doors to represent all of the doors that are closed. So he's down there. And the next one is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I did stop and chat a little bit. We're at the 2 hour mark here. So a typical game of Hero Quest can 1 to 2 hours is what a lot of people estimate. I think it's only really supposed to take 90 minutes, but that's assume you really know what you're doing and you're really moving fast. I'm just taking the relaxed approach because, you're streaming this, and if you want things to speed along, you can set it to double speed for all I care, Just enjoy it. Now, if you're watching it live, you're just chilling. We're having a good time, hopefully, learning some things. Because I'm playtesting this live as we speak on Twitch here. Okay, so we moved those, and there's nothing more the bad guys can do, so we're going to go to the heroes. So here, the hapless wizard, he has used up pretty much all of his magic. I mean, he's got Swift Wind, Water of Healing, and Veil of Mist left. And I feel like he may need all of that. So he's just going to attack the gargoyle with his staff. And he only gets one attack die to do that. So we'll just see what he gets. And he got nothing. He failed. Let's see what his movement would have been. 9. Nothing too special there. Okay. Now it's time for the elf again. Now once again, he's just kind of stuck because, yeah, he's just going to take lots of damage. He's down to 4. The dwarf has 3. Yeah, because the dwarf stuck his neck out for him. Of course, the wizard could heal one of them, but he'd have to do it while that character's still alive. All right. All right, the elf is going to attack the gargoyle for all the good it'll do. With his short sword, 2 skulls. Well, at least he got a good roll. At least he went down swinging. All right, 2 skulls. Now the gargoyle defends with 5. No defense. Killed him. Killed him with the short sword. So finally, I mean, he was like a boss. He really was. So that gargoyle's been defeated, and 150 gold, if I'm reading that right. 150 gold goes to the elf. So that's from the Japanese version. So 150 gold is what he's worth. So now he has the highest gold value of anybody. But now he really ought to get out of there. Let's see, he's got 4 and the dwarf has 3. But the dwarf can move through him. So maybe the dwarf should go into the room. Of course, he's really going to be exposed. If he dies, he's losing all his stuff. It's a risk. Okay, so the elf is going to move out of the way. 1, 2. Dwarf is going to move forward. That's 4. Low roll. What is he wearing? Plate mail. 1, 2, and he should just block the door. But then he's only going to get to attack 1 monster. Yeah, that's the safest bet. Okay, so he's going to attack this orc down here, this first orc. And he's going to attack him with the battle axe. Yeah. All right, so we got 1 skull against the orc. The orc defends with 2. 1 skull. No defense, he kills him. So he just collected 20 gold, killing the orc. All right. Now, the fateful turn. All right. Zargon deck. So draw an Evil Wizard. Tripped. Play this card immediately. Randomly pick one hero. The hero must discard one potion. Well, nobody has any potions, so it's wasted. You trip over a loose tile and break one of your potions. If anybody had had one, that would have been devastating. I wish they had more. Okay, now the monsters get to move. So, of course, the mummy is going to move first. Over here, attack the hapless dwarf with 4. Okay, 2 skulls. It's the dwarf. Defense 2. He didn't get any defense at all, so he lost 2. So he's down to 1. He's gonna die next. At least he went down swinging. Okay, now we've got the goblin is gonna attack him. Just make a mockery of him. Goblin attacks. Whiff. Didn't get anything. Now the orc is going to move forward, or to the side rather, slide to the side and attack with 3. 2 skulls. Dwarf is going to defend. Ching, and he gets hit, and he's dead. He's dead because he only had 1 left. Oh man, and he was trapped in the room, so all of his stuff is confiscated by monsters and can't be recovered. So all that gold that he had and his gear. And let's see, his cards really couldn't have been used. I mean, his luck card would only counter one of those monster cards, really. One of those evil wizard cards. So yeah, this is not going to help him out. So, yep, he's destroyed. So lost another hero. Red, I hardly knew ya. Okay, so those monsters moved, and now it might be victory for Zargon, even though he's not even there. He's automated, so to speak. So we're going to move these shadows. But wait a minute, where are they even going to go? I've been marching them down this way, and oh, I see. They're going to have to take the long way around. That was silly. Yeah, because it's a dead end. So it's like they're running into the wall, like video game AI style. See, I'll show you. I'll show you my folly here. And I can't blame that on bad AI. So there's a wall there. There's a wall there. So they're going to have to go all this way, round the corner, and then back that way. But they'd have to go all the way around. So I think instead they're just going to backtrack. It would make more sense to go this other way. So I'm just going to make an executive decision for the bad guys here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open the door. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can't occupy the same square, so 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's at the doorway. So they could have saved time by just going that other direction. All right, now it's time for the few remain to battle to the last. These final heroes. This could be their last hurrah. So not my best game ever as the heroes, but trying something new. Okay, so the wizard has healing, which he could hoard for himself. He could try to use it on the elf to bring him to maximum, but then that means he would be at a disadvantage. I think what the wizard is going to do, see again, if he moves, he's not going to be able to attack anybody. I mean, we could just make a run for the stairs at this point, but we're not going to get our reward. We're just going to survive. But only one guy could really do it because he could use Pass Through Rock and try to just run to the stairs. Swift Wind to the stairs. Okay. Too much deliberation. 5. Didn't see that. He did 5 there. I can brighten that up now. Extreme zoom. Okay. Extreme close-up. There we go. Okay. So we got 5. I think he's just going to move to the side here. 1, 2. Now the elf is going to go 7. 1, 2. He can use his bow. Now he's going to be attacking the weakest enemy. He's going to be attacking the goblin with 3. His crossbow. 1 skull. Goblin defends with 1. Nothing. So he's destroyed. So he killed the goblin, got 5 more points. Now in Space Crusade, you got to get a certain minimum score if you flee to even like survive, because otherwise you'll be you basically have to die in battle because you didn't achieve your goal, and it's to recover your honor. But in this game, it's just, well, do you want the reward or not? Okay, so he did that, and now he's not going to be able to move anymore. So dwarf is dead. Long live the dwarf. It'd be nice if we found the elixir of life or something, but there's no special quest treasures. That's the other thing. See, now that would be a nice addition, is a tile that's like a special treasure. Of course, if you flip the treasure down, that means it's just going to be sitting there like a piece of equipment. That could be another homebrew rule. So on here, instead of putting a piece of furniture, it could be like plate armor. So plate armor is just sitting there, and whoever picks it up gets it. Or maybe it's an artifact. And you could just sprinkle a couple of those in to all the piles to make it interesting. I mean, maybe you'd have to search for it. Well, why would you search for it? So you'd have to clear the room of monsters before you get it. So maybe I'll do that on the next homebrew thing. Just thinking out loud. So yeah, if anybody sees this stream and wants to try their own ideas out, because doing it this way, I mean, allows me to do a lot more things, keep it interesting, keep it surprising, but some things are missing. So yeah, special quest treasures, equipment, potions, could be all kinds of things. Another way to get treasure, in other words, keep it interesting and maybe give the heroes something to grasp onto. I mean, I could have had them start with armor, but I chose to give them weapons instead. So anyway, I could have started them with gold and said buy whatever you want, but it's completely arbitrary on my part. Okay, so monster's turn. Let's draw Evil Zargon card. Chaos Champion. Pick any one monster on the board. It may move and attack twice this turn. This monster looks more evil than the others. Well, obviously we're going to go with the mummy. So it can move and attack twice. This could be the end of the heroes. Well, maybe not, because he can only attack one of them. He can attack the elf twice. All right. This could be the end of the elf. So he's going to attack. Oh, I see. He can move, kill him, move, kill him. So that may be how this goes. Maybe the Zargon dice or the Zargon deck was overkill. But I'm just realizing that now. But I wanted it to be interesting. So it definitely is. So the mummy is attacking the elf with his first attack. And he got 1 skull. The elf is going to defend with 2, so 1 skull. Okay, he easily defended. Got 2 white shields. He's using his second attack. Mummy attacks with 3, defends with 4, just to remind myself. Okay, he didn't. Yeah, he did. Okay, it's two skulls. Ooh. Oh. Just drop the dice. Okay. defend, and he didn't defend anything. So he lost 2, so he's down to 2. All right. And, oh yeah, and then the mummy can move again. So he's going to move out of the way and let this orc move into position. See, now the bad guys are using tactics. So now the orc is going to attack and possibly finish off Buddy the elf. No, Buddy! 1 skull. Buddy defends. Easily defends. 2 white shields. Blocked it. Okay, well, the shadows get to move. The shadows move. Okay, and they're far away from doing anything, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like they escaped the quest. No, just kidding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Monsters don't stand on the stairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, entering the center room there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Front of the doorway there. It's better. Okay. So it's like the army is coming. Watch out, guys. Okay, so that's all the monsters get to do. Back to the heroes. We last left our heroes. They were in dire straits here. So the wizard, he ought to heal. I mean, they're both down to 2. You know what? The elf has a better chance. So he's going to use water of healing on the elf, which gives him 4 more, so he's now up to 6. He's at full strength. It's all you, elf. He's got a bunch of gold to carry back, if he can live that long. All right, and now he could try to move. Let's see, that pit trap is still in the way. It's a risk. Let's see what his movement would be. I mean, you just have to not have enough movement to just get across the pit, but if you roll a skull, you're going to fall in. So he's got 8. Well, you didn't see that, but he rolled an 8. Yeah, he's just going to stay put. Okay, now the elf has a choice to make. The wizard does have Swift Wind and Veil of Mist, but I mean, he can't use them right now because he already used the Water of Healing. Okay. All right. The elf is going to... Oh yeah, I gotta roll for movement. For him, 8. Didn't matter. Okay. He's going to attack the only person he can attack, which is the orc, with his short sword. 2 skulls. See, I keep rolling out of frame. Sorry about that. 2 skulls. I'm not cheating, I promise. 2 skulls. And now the orc defends with 2. No defense. He's killed. So the elf is cleaning up. He gets another 20 gold. All right. Does he move out of the way? If he does, now he shouldn't because yeah, he's stronger than the wizard. Okay, monster's turn, chaos turn. The end is near. Rust. Well, there's no chaos spells right now, so it doesn't really do anything. All right, so let's move the shadows. Just point our camera in their general direction. 1, 2, 3. Open the door. 4. Let's see. See, that's just a dead end. So why would they go that way? Oh, I did this wrong. This thing is down here. This is solid rock here. Whoops, spoilers. So 5, like that. So I just moved him there. I wonder what purple would look like. So if they were purple, yeah, they're still fairly easy to see, but the green stands out. Now I could have made them red. I like red, but it's actually harder to see sometimes. Just making it a different color, make them pink. I don't know, make it a different color that stands out. Okay, so next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, the mummy moves forward, attacking the elf. All right, so the mummy gets 2 skulls. Elf defends with 2. Takes 2 damage because he didn't roll any defense at all, so he's down to 4. So it's a good thing he got healed because he would be dead by now otherwise, if it were not for the water of healing there to protect him. And that's really all the mummy can do. So now we're going back to the heroes. So the wizard, come on, Wiz. Come on, Tommy. Tommy boy. Tommy! He's going to attack the mummy with his staff, his mighty oaken staff. He gets 1 skull. The mummy, of course, defends with 4. So at best, yeah, he's going to block everything. He blocked everything because the mummies have 2 body points in the North American rules, and he is uninjured. Okay, not much else I can do really. So monster's turn. You know the drill by now. Zargon card. Log trap. Uh-oh. Pick any 3 squares in a row on the board. Any hero monster on the squares must roll 1 combat die. So obviously it's going to be these 3 with the boot. They must roll 1 combat die, lose 1 body point on a skull. Suddenly a spiked log rolls from the ceiling. That's nasty. So, I mean, I've just chosen to auto-target the heroes with it. So this could be the end. Well, maybe. Actually, yeah, they'll both survive because neither one of them has just 1. Okay, so this is for the wizard. This is for the wizard. 1 skull. So he takes 1 damage. So he gets spiked by the log trap. So he's down to 1. This one's for the elf. Buddy. All right. He avoided any damage. All right. So now the mummy is going to attack the elf with 3. Three skulls. Wow. That could be it for him. Let's see. 2 defense. Blocked 1. He gets hit by 2 more. Oh, what am I saying? He had 4, so he loses 2. So he's down to 2. Man. He's the meat shield this quest. Okay. Now the shadows get to move. So adjust the camera. It's got to be a better way. Get a 3rd camera. There, now we can see what's going on. It's like the Batman villain lair. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these bad guys could have showed up a lot earlier if they hadn't been so stupid with their navigation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the thing is, if a bunch of people were playing, it's like, oh, just send them that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you got to shift gears because it's like if you want the heroes to win, you're kind of like, let's not have the bad guys really do their best. Let's, you know. So it's kind of like you create the instrument of your own destruction. But that's why you have somebody else play as Zargon because it's like he'll do what's in his best interest. But yeah, if it's just an automatic process, it's like, hey, I'm just following the rules. Okay, so we moved those guys, and now yeah. Okay, so the mummy did his thing. Okay, so now it's the hero's turn. So the wizard is going to attack the mummy with his staff. Let's just focus back on the dice box here. Missed. Not going to bother rolling for movement. Okay, now the elf is going to attack the mummy with a short sword. 1 skull. Mummy defends with 4. He's going to live, but the question is, will he take damage or not? 1 skull. No defense, so he does take 1 hit. 1 hit wonder. So the mummy has 1 damage. He's got 1 left. Now in the demagicified version, that would be the Mighty Chaos Sasquatch, which is great. But it's a very large figure, so it does take up a lot of room. Nice looking figure, though. I use the Reaper minis for those. Pretty fun. Okay, now should the elf move out of the way? Well, he's got 2, just like the wizard does. No, the wizard's got 1, so he should stay where he's at. Yeah, too bad. All right, I guess that's it for the good guys. So let's move the shadows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right on the secret door. I mean, talk about clearing out the board. I think I've definitely made it much more difficult. So I'll probably have to create some kind of difficulty scale for this because I'm just thinking of the number of monsters they had to fight. It's just absurd. So yeah, we'll tally it up in a bit here just to see kind of how we were, because yeah, this is my first time trying it. All right. I'm forgetting now. Okay, so I had to move the shadows, and now the mummy is going to attack because I did it out of order. I shouldn't do that because I'll get confused. All right, guess I'm getting a little bit tired here. Even though I've got a rant, that'll wake me right up. We're getting towards the end of our time here, folks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. So, not done yet, but the mummy is going to attack the elf and probably finish him off. Let's see. 3 attack. 2 skulls. Elf's going to try to defend. Oh, no defense. You know what? That's the end of Buddy. So long, buddy. Hope you find your dad. All right, so he is dead, but at least in this case, his stuff is claimed by the wizard because they're both in the corridor together. See that? So, he's gone, but not forgotten. Now, the mummy could move. So he's going to move in and force the wizard to either stand and fight or run and possibly fall into that pit, and that would be his end because he's only got 1 body point left. He might as well stand and fight, but he's going to stand and fight with just the staff, so man, that's rough. Okay, so that's that. Now it's time for the hero, the one remaining hero. So what did he get from the elf? He got a crossbow, which he can't use. He got a short sword, which he can't use. Pass through rock spell was never used, but I mean he doesn't. The magic is gone once you die. It really is in this game. Um, he's got Swift Wind. He's got Veil of Mist. Now with Veil of Mist, he could cast it on himself and try to run past the monsters, but then he's gonna have to fight whatever those guys are out there. Okay, he only got 4 movement. Man. Now the mummy is down to 1 hit, so he could, if he gets a good hit, and I'm not going to fudge the dice roll just so he can, but okay, I'm going to try to hit him with the staff. Ah, he failed. He failed. Well, he's going to get hit on the next try. At least he should go down fighting, I think, because if he falls in that pit, I mean, that's me silly. Okay. All right, monster's turn. Top card. Mimic. Play this immediately after hero search for treasure in a room with any furniture. Well, yeah, a mimic would be cool, but no one searched for treasure in a room. What are the odds? I mean, it'd be cool to bring, like say, okay, the cupboard gets up and attacks. I don't know. I'll have to probably come up with a modified deck to play with this because that just doesn't work. You have to just kind of think it through. All right, mummy is going to attack, probably kill the wizard. Let's see. 3, 2 skulls. Wizard is going to try to defend. Nothing. He's dead. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Game over. So Chaos won that round. So all his stuff is lost. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to see what those remaining shadow tiles were. So that would have been a rack. Torture rack. So that torture rack moved all the way. I guess this other monster was pushing it along. So just a piece of furniture. And a fireplace. Oh, so that wouldn't have been anything. See, because I was thinking, well, the wizard could use Veil of Mist and run past those shadows. But then I thought, well, but what if he gets on the other side and they're like Chaos Warriors or something? It's like, oh, he's really going to be in trouble. But he would have been fine running past those, and those would have been blocking. Well, the mummy could go around him because it can't block the doorway. And then what would these be? A goblin. Okay, he would have had to fight a goblin. Pretty weak. And an orc. So you know what? He could have. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. He wouldn't have gotten very far. Yeah. I mean, if he had really gotten a good roll, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and he would have had to fight an orc. Yep. Okay, well, I'm just going to tally up the points because I'm curious how many monsters we actually fought here. So, oh, and I forgot to add the... How many did the wizard get? I don't think the wizard really... Did he kill anything at all? You can rewind the tape. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, technically we killed 11 monsters because there was a wandering monster. 11, and then there was 12, 13, 14. 14 monsters there. Well, that's a pretty good number. It's a lot of monster body points. So just totaling them up here. So we had an orc, so that's 1. Goblin 1, orc 1, goblin 1, so that's 4. 5, 6, 7 for the gargoyle. Chaos Warrior 8, 9, 10. Skeleton 11. This would have been 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah. And then 16, 17 for the mummy. Oh yeah, this orc, 18. Were these guys part of it? Skeleton, another skeleton, 19, 20, 21, 22. So really, it really wasn't that tough. I mean, if you think as far as quests go, but the fact that I wasn't getting a lot of searches accomplished, so I wasn't getting potions. My guys got weapons, but not armor. The elf just kept getting in the way. But yeah, they got killed. All their stuff got taken, and the quest was failed. But it was kind of an interesting little experiment. I mean, you can't win them all. Maybe I would limit the tokens a little bit more because I just did it so that every miniature would be used. So there'd be 4 Chaos Warriors, 3 Femmers, a Gargoyle, 6 Goblins, 8 Orcs, 4 Skeletons, 2 Mummies, 2 Zombies. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, think about the trial. The trial's pretty high. I'm trying to think, is it 35 monster body points? So it's a pretty good number. But I mean, that's a heck of a heck of a quest to start with at first. But yeah, I was just as the heroes, I was thinking, well, start using your spells because you never know. I mean, the rest of the quest could be a cakewalk, but I mean, by process of elimination, you could say, okay, there's probably Chaos Warriors left. But I mean, I had these whole piles of tokens that I was going to bring out if they got to the other quadrants. So you would have had a goblin, Fimmer, treasure chest, goblin, throne, bookcase. Yeah, lots more. Goblin, zombie. Yeah, there's an alchemist bench. Yeah, some of these I didn't do so well because I was cutting one side and it's like just chopped it off, but you can still tell what it's supposed to be. That there, bunch of these. There's the Chaos Warriors. That would have been a hard one. Weapons rack. There's a blank, so it would have been nothing, just a ghost. Bookcase. Alar's ghost laughs maniacally. All those there, and then we got all the extras. Big pile of stuff there. Yeah. So anyway, that was Hero Quest, and again, this is not the standard way to play. This was just me trying to homebrew some rules inspired by Space Crusade. I think some things need to be tweaked. Maybe the Zargon deck needs some tweaks because a lot of those cards didn't do anything, which is good for the heroes. Some way to incorporate searching for secret doors or something to do with traps. I mean, this trap was generated by the evil wizard deck, so that was kind of a neat thing. It hampered the heroes. It caused a lot of problems for them. So yeah, probably some tweaks. But anyway, I am going to thank you all for joining. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go ahead and clear the board, put all this stuff away, and we're going to be, I don't know, I'm kind of tired now. I do have a rant or a discussion to do about the Barbarian Quest Pack remake coming out. I'm going to go ahead and just stop here and we'll do another video and see how it goes. Thanks everybody. Take care.